Now, the drugs which are inhibiting the DNA gyrase enzyme. So, DNA gyrase inhibitors. In DNA gyrase inhibitors, we are having quinolones. So, quinolones are DNA gyrase inhibitor, inhibiting the DNA gyrase enzyme. The role of DNA gyrase is for DNA replication. So, quinolones are inhibiting the DNA replication because DNA gyrase is for nicking of DNA, preventing the supercoiling of DNA and resealing of the DNA, that is seen in the gram-negative bacteria. In gram-positive, we are having DNA topoisomerase for that purpose. So, quinolones, the first quinolone was nalidixic acid. The first quinolone was nalidixic acid. Nalidixic acid. It was mainly effective for gram-negative bacteria. It is mainly effective for gram-negative bacteria. It was used in UTI. It was used for UTI, urinary tract infection. But side effects are higher. Side effects were higher. What are the risks associated with nalidixic acid? Nalidixic acid was having high risk of CNS toxicity, like ataxia, confusion, seizures. The risk was higher. Seizures risk was reported with nalidixic acid. Then it can also cause hemolysis. It can also cause hemolysis, especially in G6PD deficient children. Especially in G6PD deficient children, it can cause hemolysis, nalidixic acid. That's why it is not used nowadays. Better options are available. Nowadays we are having fluorinated quinolones, and these fluorinated quinolones are fluoroquinolones. So nowadays fluoroquinolone drugs are available, not the nalidixic acid. The advantage of fluoroquinolones are these are less toxic. So fluoroquinolones are of two generations, first and second generation. The first generation fluoroquinolones are like ciprofloxacin, norfloxacin. So the suffix floxacin, ofloxacin, ciprofloxacin, norfloxacin, ofloxacin, pefloxacin. These are first generation. And second generation fluoroquinolones are the rest of the drug like levofloxacin, sparfloxacin, gatifloxacin, gomifloxacin, moxifloxacin, levoflox, sparflox, gatiflox, gomiflox, moxifloxacin, prulifloxacin, trovafloxacin. So these are some fluoroquinolones. So you can divide these drugs into two, first and second generation. Now the important is what is the mechanism of action first. So mechanism of action we have already discussed. What is the mechanism of action for these drugs? The mechanism of action of these drugs, that in gram-negative infection, For gram negative, these are inhibiting the DNA gyrase. These are inhibiting the DNA gyrase. DNA gyrase inhibition. But in gram positive also these are effective. In gram positive, what is the mechanism? In gram positive, these are inhibiting the DNA topoisomerase enzyme. DNA topoisomerase enzyme. DNA topoisomerase 4 inhibition. So inhibiting the DNA topoisomerase type 4. 1 and 2 is there in the mammals, we will discuss. So DNA topoisomerase 4 inhibition. Now, what about the spectrum? Now, what about the spectrum of these drugs? These drugs are having very good spectrum. Initially these were for gram negative only, but now these are effective against gram positive. The drugs are effective against respiratory infections also. These drugs are effective against mycobacteria also. Mycobacteria. Effective against Pseudomonas. Some of them are having the effect against Pseudomonas. Definitely not a choice of drug, but they are having the effect. The spectrum is good. These are considered as broad spectrum. Broad spectrum antibiotic. The spectrum is good. Now, what are the side effects of these drugs? What are the side effects of these drugs? These drugs are causing. Most common side effect is gastric side effect. Most common side effect is gastric side effect. The most common and earliest side effect is gastric side effect. Very important. Which side effect is most common with fluoroquinolones? Gastric side effect is more common. These drugs can cause nausea. These drugs can cause vomiting. These drugs can cause pain abdomen. So gastric side effects are very common. Then serious side effect, as we discussed with the nalidixic acid also. CNS side effect risk is there. That is serious. That is serious toxicity of this drug. So common is gastric, serious is neurological side effect. In CNS, we can have the risk of seizures. So seizures risk is reported with these drugs. Then, and remember, the risk of seizure will be higher when we are using these drugs with NSAIDs, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory. So high risk reported when we are using with NSAIDs. That is important. Then, what are the other important side effects? These drugs can cause arrhythmia. These drugs can cause arrhythmia. These drugs, some of these drugs are having potassium channel blocking property, and because of that, these drugs can increase the QT interval. These drugs can increase the QT interval and can cause torsades, day pointers. So risk of arrhythmia seen with these drugs, torsades, day pointers. The drugs which are having risk of arrhythmia, because of that, some of these drugs are already withdrawn, like gatifloxacin, like sparfloxacin, grapafloxacin. So gatiflox, sparflox, grapaflox, these drugs are already withdrawn from the market because of this reason. So risk of arrhythmia is there. Then these drugs can cause weakness of tendon. These drugs can cause weakness of tendon or can cause rupture of tendon. So tendon injury. These drugs can cause weakness of tendon and rupture of tendon. These drugs can cause cartilage damage. These drugs can cause damage of cartilage. Because of that, this drug should be avoided in children. So this drug should be avoided in children because of risk of cartilage damage. Then these drugs are not safe in pregnancy and during lactation. These drugs are not safe during pregnancy and lactation. So important drug, but there are some side effects. Then comes to other important side effect is these drugs are having risk of phototoxicity. Risk of phototoxicity and skin hypersensitivity reaction. Risk of phototoxicity and skin hypersensitivity reactions have also been seen with these drugs. In phototoxicity, the important is sparfloxacin. Sparflox, foxiflox, levoflox having phototoxicity. Because these are longer acting drugs, more stay in the body, more storage under the skin, reaction during light, phototoxicity risk is there. Now, what are the use of these drugs? So these drugs are commonly used, important drug. What are the use of these drugs? These drugs are used in gastric infection, GI infection. In GI infection, we can use these drugs. Intestinal infection, like in bacillary dysentery. In bacillary dysentery, drug of choice. These drugs are drug of choice in bacillary dysentery. Important. Second, these drugs are also very good drug for typhoid fever. Nowadays, resistance have been seen, otherwise very effective for typhoid fever. Commonly used also. Still many physicians are using this, but overall the best drug nowadays is ceftriaxone, cephalosporin. If not in the choice, then these drugs are also very effective drug for typhoid fever. Then these drugs are very good for urinary tract infection. Urinary tract infection. Also for prostatitis. Prostatitis. Then other than prostatitis, very good drug for gonorrhea. But the reason less commonly used nowadays is because of the resistance. So prostatitis, gonorrhea. Then very good drug for anthrax. In anthrax, it is still drug of choice. In anthrax, still drug of choice. So one I told you, in bacillary dysentery, still drug of choice. Second important, anthrax, it is still drug of choice. Then also used in meningitis, meningococcal meningitis. In meningococcal meningitis, for prophylaxis, it is still drug of choice. And mostly we are using ciprofloxacin. So cipro is drug of choice for meningococcal meningitis. Cipro is drug of choice in anthrax bacilli. Cipro is still drug of choice in prostatitis. Drug of choice for prostatitis. Cipro is very good drug for bacillary dysentery. So ciprofloxacin is very commonly used for all these infections. Then comes to the other infection. As I told you, we can use for Pseudomonas also. We can use these drugs in Pseudomonas infection also, but not a choice of drug. Ciprofloxacin or prolifloxacin can be used. Then some of them are very effective for respiratory infection. These are called as respiratory fluoroquinolones. And these respiratory fluoroquinolones are used to treat pneumonia. Respiratory fluoroquinolones are used to treat pneumonia. These are like levoflox, gomiflox, Gomeflox, Moxiflox. These are commonly used for respiratory infection. These are also called as respiratory fluoroquinolones. Some of them, sparfloxacin, gatifloxacin, these are also effective, but these are already withdrawn from the market. Then these drugs are also effective for Mycobacterium, so these drugs are also used in the TB patient. Second line anti-tubercular drugs used in MDR cases. These drugs are like Moxiflox, Levoflox, Ciproflox, and Oflox. These drugs can be used in tuberculosis also. Commonly used is levofloxacin and moxifloxacin. So in TB, second line anti-tubercular drug, effective against Mycobacterial infection also. So you can see nowadays these drugs are commonly used. These are very effective drugs. In TB, these are very good drugs. In second line, in pneumonia, we can use in the respiratory infection. We can also use for prophylaxis in meningococcal meningitis, in anthrax, then prostatitis, typhoid. These are very good drugs for typhoid also. But nowadays the preferred drug is ceftriaxone. Dysentery, bacillary dysentery. So many uses are there. These are very good drugs. Nowadays, fluoroquinolones are one of the commonly used antibiotics. That is about the fluoroquinolones. Thank you.